House Party by Eric Walters, Chapter 10. For the first few seconds, I thought I was the only one who heard the sirens. Then, all at once, it was like everybody heard them. They stopped and listened. The sound was unmistakable, and it was coming in this direction. The noise was getting louder and louder, and suddenly one kid moved towards the door, and then another, and another, until everybody started running towards the front door. There was a mass rush. It was like a school fire drill that had gone completely out of control. Drinks were dropped or tossed against the walls. Bodies began bouncing against each other as everybody tried to make it out of the house. The front door was wide open. Mo and Mike were nowhere to be seen, and people streamed through, running outside. I ran over the front window, glass crunching under my feet and into the carpet. The scene outside was wild. Hundreds of kids were on the run. It was like a wave of people. Some of them were running down the street, while others were heading out the other way into a field at the end of the street. Others were jumping into cars. Vehicles were starting up, revving and trying to jockey away, but were blocked by other cars trying to do the same thing. One of the cars bounced up over the sidewalk and drove on the lawns of the neighbors. The driver bypassed the line of cars and then bumped back into the road in the intersection, squealing away. The sirens, and it was clearly more than one siren, were getting louder. I didn't know if they were coming into my house or not. I was just grateful they were in the area. Maybe there was a fire or an emergency they were rushing to nearby. If that was the case, I had to get the front door and lock it so that people who had run out wouldn't come back once the sirens had passed. Then the flashing lights appeared at the top of the street. There was a police car. No, two police cars. Then a third and a fourth and a fifth car appeared. They came up the street, blocking any other cars from leaving. The cars were trapped, but the people on foot weren't. They turned around and started running towards the field and away from the police. While the police had blocked the cars from leaving, they're blocked from coming any closer. The doors of the police cars opened and the officers got out, 2 per car. The police fanned out across the width of the street. It was eerie watching them come towards us, their passage illuminated by the pulsating lights on their cars, radiating out and across the whole scene. Jen appeared at my side. I can't believe all of this. How did it happen? I shook my head. I don't know. It just kept building up until it was out of control. What are you going to say to the police? She asked. I hadn't even considered that. I was just so grateful that they'd appeared. I hadn't thought that they were going to come to the house, and it wasn't what I was going to say that was important, but what they were going to say to me, even worse. What are they going to do to me? Was I going to be arrested? The police officer started moving to the cars that lined the street. Doors were opened and drivers and passengers removed. Other cops formed a line on the street, forcing the remaining kids to run in the other direction. It didn't look like they were even trying to catch up to anybody, just moving them away to break things up. Most of the crowd left, and most of them who remained were fleeing as fast as their legs could carry them. The only ones who couldn't run were Jen and me. Then I looked down at the lawn. There was somebody lying there, not moving. How could somebody sleep through all of this? Maybe they weren't sleeping. They must have passed out. We have to get rid of all the alcohol, Jen said. What? I asked. I understood the words, but I didn't know what she meant. We have to dump out all the alcohol. We have to get rid of the bottles. We have to hide the evidence before the police get here. Jen, I said, shaking my head, it's over. There's nothing we can do. We can't hide all of this. I gestured around the room. If it was only the beer bottles that littered the room. There was a smashed out front window, the pieces of glass in the carpets. Broken bottles, garbage, overturned chairs, spilled drinks, and stains on the carpet. There's nothing that can be done. Nothing. I started to cry, and Jen put her arm around my shoulders. I'm so sorry, she said. So am I, but not as sorry as I'm going to be later.